Hello there, and welcome back to International Fathers. I'm your host and your creator, Nelson Moody Sr. And we are live in the Nelson Moody Sr. studios. And we're still talking about fathers, those positive fathers, of the influence that fathers have on their children throughout their whole entire life. And with that in mind, I have two guests, and we're going to talk about fathers as it relates to his daughter or daughters. My first guess, how do you view fatherhood?
I think fatherhood has a big impact on a daughter's life.
By a big impact on a daughter's life, what do you mean?
I mean, as if a father teaches a daughter the ways of life and all the trials and tribulations that's going to come in her past, well, can't say past, in the future.
So then, what you're saying is that you're viewing fatherhood as something that's needed.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to go back all the way back into the beginning when a girl is first born. How would you think that a father plays in that role?
From birth?
Yes.
From birth, well, it's really essential that a father puts his foot down. I'm gonna use that term. Fatherhood be stamped at that time because that's the beginning of a girl's life, and she gets to see what a male does. Not just the father, but how a male is, and then formed into manhood, then formed into father. So she gets to see three different things, and she has that to identify with before she even knows anything about fatherhood. That's how I look at it. And then you can flip flop it when she gets to actually identifying that this is my father, this is what my father does,
right,
this is what my father shows, and she carries all of what her life's been impacted with throughout, from the toddler stage, well, infancy, toddler, child, teenage, young adulthood, into the adulthood.
So then you're viewing this guy called father, this special attraction that this daughter have, that this daughter is looking at, that she sees from an infant, that she can build up a trust in a relationship and a bond with this guy called father.
And stamp.
And you stamp it. Okay, okay.
It's essential.
It's very essential.
Yeah.
Why do you think fathers are important in a daughter's life?
A father's important to me. I believe a father's important because as she grow up, she needs to know the rights and wrongs, and if she doesn't know, then anything could happen. Say if she's older and she doesn't know what guys are like, and she's gonna go searching for the wrong thing, that's when the father is supposed to put his input in there and let her know what she's looking for, what she's not looking for, who's going to be there and who's not going to be there. He needs to put his foot down and let her know how, why, and it shouldn't be any ifs, ands, or buts about it, because he's the father. So I think that it's important for a father to let his daughter know, because if not, then she's gonna be looking for the wrong things in people and her choices. He has to show her. Right, he has to show her rather than tell her.
Okay, that's interesting because little girls have this imagination that they're princesses and that they are princesses. And my belief, I have a number of daughters, and to me they princesses if they dressed in a pair of shorts, they got mud on their face, their hair is not done, you know what I mean? These are my princesses. And I say that to say this right here, that fathers validate fathers validate their daughters at a very, very young age, like nobody else can do. Because if we don't validate our daughters, then I guess going back to what you were saying, fast paced in the future, they'll grasp a hold to anything and anyone that they can for some attention. Um, since you brought attention into the arena here, let's talk about the attention that that a girl, say about the age of probably like 8 and 9, would seek if dad is not there.
Let's see, about 8 or 9. Uh, well, it really doesn't matter what age they are.
Correct.
If a father hasn't put his foot down and stamp and show, teaching them what the role of the male slash father is, they will grow up searching for attention, seeking somebody to place their eyes on them. It may even at an early age, sex. You introduce to them those type of ideas because they don't know. It wasn't put forth in front of them. Father showing what real love is, what real caring is, nurturing is. So they grow up with that blank. That's why it's so important for the father to be there, like you were saying,
right,
so that he can show his mark. And if it's a 2-parent household, fathers showing the daughters how they treat their mother. So now the daughter knows how she's supposed to be treated as a young woman in the future. How she's supposed to respond to a man.
Correct.
If it's a positive relationship, in that fold, they get to see the nurturing like it's supposed to be put forth. They get to see the handlings of male to female and male to daughter. You communicate with me, whether it's like you say, your menstrual cycles, or things that you're concerned about in your future. Some of our children have struggles with death. So fathers, not taking away from mothers, but fathers, that locked in syndrome, that's what I call it, for relationship, the talk, because it teaches that young girl how to talk. It teaches her how to communicate. It teaches her stability. It teaches her stabilization, foundation. So a father has to put his marker on it at a young age so that she can know. If not, she's going to grow up wandering, looking for different attributes from different people. Because by nature, that's a pull. For females to seek that attention from the male, the love, the nurturing. They want to get it from somewhere. And in this society, you got, it can go both ways.
You're right.
And it's not just talking all the time, because talking will do nothing. It's more like you have to show in a reaction. Because if you don't show in a reaction, then they'll go looking and craving for attention at the wrong places. And going to those places, you'll end up going down the wrong path. And that wrong path can lead to anywhere. And you never know what can happen. Lord knows. And then it's when you showing your daughter, it's more like not just saying, oh, don't do this, don't do that. You have to show your daughter inside the household. What you do inside your household is how you should be treated outside your household. You shouldn't take any disrespect from anyone. Not even your father is supposed to teach you those things. The processes of how people are supposed to treat you and how you should expect to be treated.
Pretty good. So I mean, between the two of you guests, I got a whole lot of information there. One I want to touch on is that this guy called Father out there on YouTube land around the world, on all 4 corners of the globe. Listen to my guess. Fathers are very essential. And we are hearing it from 2 female guests now. By the way, this is the first time on International Fathers I've had 2 guests at the same time, which is a very, very special segment of International Fathers. And I'm proud to say that. So, this guy called father, as my one guest repeatedly have said, had to put his stamp on his daughters. My other guest mentioned that what happens in the house as he's teaching his daughter and then going out into the world or outside to school, to the mall, or whatever the case may be, that she still upholds the same guidelines and standard as her father. Which brings me to a point of what I tell my daughters is that when you walk out this house, you represent me. Okay? So if I'm teaching my daughters this way and these things like that, I expect them to carry on in the same fashion, because they never know who out there may know me that may make a report, make a phone call, a text. You know how it is. And for all you young people out there, Instagram and Facebook. But that father has such an intricate role in his daughters' lives. We also talked about that puberty stage where that daughter starts her menstrual cycles, which to me is a very special, as my one guest said, is a big step. But to me, it is personal. Sometimes fathers may shy away from talking to their daughters about menstrual cycles, putting it on mom. In the case where mom is not around, whether through separation or death or whatever, father is just there, and daughter may be over father's house at that particular time. Father should be able to grasp the concept of talking to his daughter about her body. It used to be taboo years ago, but from my experience, when you share interest in your daughter when she starts puberty and starts her menstrual cycle, she's not afraid to talk to you about just about anything, because she developed that trust in you. She just had more confidence in you, Dad, and a lot of you fathers out there in YouTube land and around the world know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's very nice that we do this type of stuff, talking to our daughters about their menstrual cycles.
Yeah, it is. That way, daughters, they're not shy about what's going on, because at early stages, young girls can have difficulties with their body, organs. Our bodies are complicated. We have a lot going on in there about organs. So to talk to your father about something that's going on with your body, and mom might not be around,
right?
So you want them to be comfortable. That's another reason why it's important to start from the beginning in that relationship with your daughters, so that you'll know. It's all about a comfortability and a trust. And that's what needs to be stamped from the beginning.
You like that word, stamp?
I love that word because it's true.
Okay.
If you don't start from the beginning, prenatal,
okay,
in the belly,
okay,
you're going way back.
I got you.
If you don't start from the beginning,
then
that's the type of communication that the daughter will have. Flip-flop. They'll be selective in what they'll talk about. So you want them to feel comfortable, be comfortable with you. Dads, be comfortable with you telling you anything about boys, their curiosities,
okay,
work and school, liking boys, all the things that come with life. So it's essential to have that foundation, that marker, that stamp put in from the very beginning.
Not U.S. postal stamp, but a stamp.
That stamp.
Okay.
And for fathers that may just be coming into their children's lives for whatever reason, because that happens sometimes too. We don't know what happens. Sometimes fathers are taken away, maybe military, maybe a reuniting of mother and father, just the communication wise. It's really important for you guys to do the same thing. put that stamper in there and be consistent with it so that she'll know she can trust you.
Right.
That she'll be able to talk to you, because if you don't talk to your daughters will be talking to someone else that may be leading them into the wrong types of things. And you really don't want that. You want success, you want achievement. So put that foundation down. No matter what it is, put your foot down and talk. Keep an open line of communication, no matter what age they are. Sometimes you might wanna, like we do with our children, when they come in, we just start asking them questions. And along with correcting them on some of their grammar, we find out what they're in tune to, what they're dealing with, and then we give them some say-so. We don't tell them to shut up. We don't shut them down, because you want to know what they've been dealing with. That's part of the communication and building, because when you stop asking, they'll keep talking. But the point is, don't stop asking, no matter how old they are.
Right. Go ahead.
And sometimes they have dealing with consistency. To add on to what you said, consistency is a must. If you're not consistent on talking to your child, she'll back away and distance herself, and you don't want that. And even if you have to work should not say
that again.
Should not.
Okay.
It should not interfere with you and your child's relationship. I don't care if you work a 9-to-5 job.
If you had 20 jobs.
If you had 20 jobs. If you're not consistent on talking to your daughter, she will distance herself. And during distancing herself, you'll wonder where her head is. And wondering where her head is, only Lord knows. But if you are not consistent, even if you're coming from work and it's only 2 minutes talking to your child, that shouldn't stop you.
Hey, baby, what you doing?
Yeah.
How was school?
Did you have a good day? Oh, let me check your homework.
Read it to me.
Yeah, those things. Even if you don't know what's going, if you don't know her homework, at least try to help her.
Right.
It shouldn't be I'm going to do this, I'm too tired thing. It should be hey, do you need some help with something?
Right.
Or do you want me to come in here? Oh, I'll lay with you for a couple minutes and we'll talk about how our day was. Oh, baby, my day was fine. I'll work. Even still, I know you want to provide for your child, but providing for your child and communicating, those go hand in hand. Those are the same thing. So you have to be consistent. And I know it's love, but sometimes love is just a word based on how you use it. You have to show it.
Well, I tell y'all, like I said, this is my first ever interview with two people at the same time, and I'm the host, but I think they the host at this right here. Because it's so much that was being said, it's so much that is being said, and I'm gonna have them back on the show again. I guarantee you. But
we look forward
you look forward to it. Okay, because nobody knows the importance of a father-daughter relationship than a daughter. Us fathers, we can do what we have to do for our daughters. Like I said, you out there in YouTube land, I've mentioned that I have quite a few daughters, but they all get my time. I believe that I satisfy for the most of their time, their emotional, their mental, their psychological, their spiritual needs. It's just so much that is wrapped up into dealing with a daughter, because of the fact that we are supposed to be there for them. I've always said, and I've also written in my third book and also my first book, if you all have seen it before, that there is nothing like a father's love. And even now and then I incorporate this phrase here, because on this talk show here, this is like no other. We don't bash fathers and we don't bash mothers. Those are my two rules that I have on International Fathers, because bashing each other as parents does nothing for the child, and it's all about the child.
That's interesting.
However, this is International Fathers, so we concentrate, we focus, we educate, and empower and inspire fathers. One thing that one guest mentioned was that time coming in from a job or taking care of some business. I've accustomed myself that whenever I may come home from work, and I'm pretty much of a scheduled person, and I don't like to go off my scheduling, but so much. But if I'm cooking and one of my children, or we're going to single in on daughter, one of my girls need my attention, I stop what I'm doing because she may need me at that time. Something that could be bothering her, or she may need help with something. But even before that, going back to the earliness, like what my one of my guests said, that it starts in the womb. I say that to say this right here. I study and I watch my daughters. When you're involved with your daughters and you study them and you talk to them, you learn that nurturing part of them, and you bond with them, and you know their looks, their ways, their likes, their dislikes, what colors or this or that have you. So for me, I can see a certain look and I'll stop what I'm doing, even though it may take me off course sometimes, which I don't like really doing that. But for the need of that daughter, I stop, because I don't know what she's going through at that time frame, and she just may need me to say, "Daddy, the sun didn't shine today as bright as I thought it would shine." You know, so I had to listen and say, well, you know, the clouds came out, and that prevented the sun from coming out. You know, but nevertheless, a daughter's mental stability, which is a very, very strong thing, because to me, all types of abuse is bad. However, I said to myself that mental abuse is devastating. I mean, it traumatizes a little girl. And if that little girl don't, I'm gonna say little girl, if that fathers out there, y'all hear me, right? Y'all know how I get on this show sometimes. Listen, for the ones who don't and not there, that girl's mental stability is at risk, emotional and psychological. We're going to deal with the mentalness of this, right? Because I also talk about this in my books, which is traumatizing enough. Mental. What do you have to say about that?
See, I believe that a father should build a relationship with his daughter. And if you can't build a relationship with your daughter, by all means, you need to try. It's not a can't. There is no can't.
No such thing as can't.
No such thing as can't. Because even if it's going to Walmart to buy her some deodorant or some pads, like that little time right there, that's communication right there.
Mm-hmm.
She could be going through a bad day. All you have to do, the words she wants to hear, baby, what's wrong? That's all you have to say. Even if she's not going to tell you, at least you put in the effort to ask her what's wrong. If you don't, sometimes she'll have her ways where she don't want to communicate with you. But as a father, you should take the time to actually go out of your way and be like, baby, I'm here. Let her know that you are there. You are available whenever she needs an ear or a shoulder to listen to. Even if she needs someone to cry on. Anything could happen through that 24 hours of a day, 2 minutes of a day. Anything could happen. So wherever her mindset is, you have to follow her. Even if it's like checking up on her, calling her, you at work, let her know, baby, I'm at work, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be there this time, that time, because and you have to keep the word, because if you're not keeping your word, if you don't keep your word, she'll expect it each and every time. Oh, I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that. And you'll get used to it and making excuses. No, you have to be there. Consistency. If you're not consistent with your word, or at least letting her know if you make a different choice or if you make a different understatement, you gotta, don't just have it in your head. And if you text her, and if you cannot text her, call her. Try to get in contact with her, because if you that right there, if that communication problem, that's gonna mess up your whole relationship. Because without a relationship, without communication, there is no relationship, none at all. Her head will be all messed up, and she'll go look, like we said, she'll be going different ways, asking her, him, oh, what do I do? Everybody except you. She's going to go to everyone except you and expecting, oh, well, my dad's busy, so hey, can you help me with this? And that's not what you want. You want her to crave attention from you, no one else, because you're the father. You have to be a man. You have to stand up. You have to put your foot down. You have to put that stamp on
it. We're not talking about the U.S. postal stamp either, okay?
Yeah, put that stamp on there. So you just have to let her know that you are in control. You are the father. So if she needs something, she needs to go to you. So she won't be scared. She won't distance herself from you. Because after a while, without communication, she'll distance. Like I said, just even if it's going to the store, get some deodorant, some pads, some socks. That time, that communication is all she needs.
So then, if I may interject on this right here, I heard you mention something about talking and responding back. When a father don't respond to a daughter, because I'm not a daughter, of course, how does a daughter responds to something like that? Is it a letdown? Is it a lie? Is it what is it?
Well, I have a little bit of experience. Won't do any bash, no need to bash. But I had some of that experience from in the household, having a lot of daughters in their different relationships with their fathers. Sometimes communication may not have been as good. The communication may not have been as good as it could have been.
Right.
You know, because people do change.
Right.
You know. But yes, it was let down. But on my end, as my girls got a little older,
right?
Because myself, I got into a pickle about what to say, when to say to the father, and how to say certain things, because I was raised without a father too, so I didn't know. Okay. But developing some ideas and seeing other males that were in their children's lives, I learned.
Okay.
I was able to collect knowledge to see what was right.
Okay.
So I would talk. I swallowed whatever was in me and went to the fathers and say, look, hey, communication is a must. They're going to start looking in other areas. They're going to start lashing out. Okay. Because that's what it causes, to answer your question. Right. It causes lots of lashing out. Okay. It causes acting out. And sometimes it'll pull you from your responsibilities. Like, if you're at work, they could lash out. The teacher, neighborhood people, friends. They can get into any realm of negative energy because the father is not being consistent, or the father is not there for them to communicate. And it doesn't take anything away from mothers, but we're talking about the father.
Right, exactly.
Because the father is the one that lays it all down and teaches about communication in the beginning. Right. Mom is there to follow up. She's the belly. She keeps things flowing once Daddy puts his stamp down.
My guest loves that stamp.
it keeps we keep it going so that it doesn't hurt our feelings if they don't come to us right then and there. But it'll be a time where the daughter will come tomorrow. But we can reinforce that. If daddies are not there, fathers are not there. And I say daddies because sometimes some of the daughters like to say, "Daddy, my daddy." You know, it's close to them. That's my daddy. But if he's not there, it causes a lot of build-up, rebellion. That's the big word. It causes rebellion, and then it causes them to wander off. They can get into the realm. Drugs at an early age, sexual activity unwanted, AIDS, diseases.
Let me interject for just 1 second. Excuse me, my guest. I will get right back to you. You mentioned, and hold that thought. You mentioned that you were without a father. That alone to you is devastating. Not just devastating, but if you had a daughter, and I don't know your circumstances, but you as a mom to a girl whose father may not be into her the way that you think that he should be, is there any comparison in that in you being a daughter without a father? I mean, because it has to be some kind of the same damage mentally. You having not a father in your life growing up.
Yes, it is damaging because there's cause and effect to everything. And I am the effect. With what I've gone through in my life is the effect of not having a father there in my life. I had role models and I picked up what I could along the way. But not having it also is a teacher of what your daughters now should have. It taught me to be on my grind, to make sure that my daughters have a communication. I had to fight to try to get, if the father is not seeing, I had to let him see through my journey, growing up without proper knowledge. And then the effect of it in dealing with, well, this is why I don't have this. This is why I went that way. This is why I wasn't able to make up my mind, because I didn't have anybody to show me to say. My mother was there, but my mother, she had a certain duty to perform in me. And it wasn't the same as with my father. Because my father being there would have taught me how to handle other males, how to deal with other males, how the males are supposed to treat me, what I'm supposed to look for. So I share with my daughters these same things. Because I do have a few where their fathers are not really in their lives like that.
We gotta get this guest back on our show. But right now, guess what you had?
We're going back to what you said. When you distance yourself from your child, her behavior will change. It's not it will be a slight change at first, but after a while, when you start being blindsided to what she's trying to interfere with you, she's going to start changing, and it's not going to be a one-time thing. It's going to be a overall thing, and it's going to be consistent until she get the attention from you. And she might not, whether it's negative or positive. And if you don't have that, if she doesn't get that attention, she'll go looking and doing things just to do it, just for you to see what she's doing. And once you notice her, she might keep doing it just to see how you
if you're going to respond to it, if you're going to say something about it,
or you just want to let it go. And most, I'm not bashing fathers, most fathers just say, I'm going to talk to your mother. let your mother deal with it, see how her reaction is. And she doesn't want she might be mommy's little girl or daddy's little girl.
Okay.
But sometimes right, sometimes it's meant for a father to put his foot down and let her know, okay, why you doing this?
So, excuse me, because you are going into different areas of what I anticipated. I mean, guys, trust me, I'm getting ganged. I am literally getting ganged by these two females here. But it's interesting. Like I said, this is the first ever. This is the first ever video segment of this show right here, and I'm loving it. I'm also learning more of it as far as myself is concerned. But back to the information that these guests are just giving, and we will have them back. You said that a father may notice it, or he may not. If he notices it and does nothing, how do you think a girl feels?
She feels as if he doesn't care, or he doesn't care. Let's basically say that, because she'll start acting up, and it's not as in acting up as in negative. She might do positive things. She might go in and out, have her days, but sometimes she'll sneak out the house at night, and she'll go to a party and tell her dad she done this, but she really did that. So sometimes you have to put your foot down and let her know who is in control. If you don't let her know who is in control, she'll do whatever she wants to do, basically. She'll run over top of you, and that is your time, your choice to say, baby girl, you sit her down, you talk to her, let her know how you're feeling. How you react to what she's doing. Don't just talk to her. Let her know.
So then this girl could be off the hook.
Yeah, she could.
Guess?
I just wanted to say something on the point. I'm sorry. I wanted to say something on the point of if he does not necessarily mean that he doesn't care.
Right.
But in some cases, like this common to me, yes, he doesn't know because maybe he didn't have a father. So you have to look at it in also a positive aspect. But it's no excuse that he can't get to know, because you got some of those fathers out there, they avid book readers. They read everything about parenting,
right,
you know,
right.
and they think that that's the only way they're going to learn it, but it's something. Experience is the best teacher.
But see, excuse me for interrupting. See, you just made something that was this guest just made something that was very interesting and profound. Okay, very profound about fathers. Now, she said that sometimes a father may not have had a father in his life, so when he starts having children, he may not know what to do. I'm here to tell you that there's exception to every rule, because I was one of them guys who never had a father in my life. And y'all heard my story. However, at the age of 10, I say I could not allow my children that come from me, suffer any type of trauma that I suffered, not having my father.
Experience is the best teacher.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
Well, true, but you know,
to be a father,
I just get heated up sometimes on this show right here, because number one, it's International Fathers, okay, and number two, I need to put it out there, the importance of fathers. This is not their talk show. This is not their judge show out there where we downgrade fathers and mothers. This is one where we uplift, inspire, encourage, and educate father and teach them. Back to you. Excuse me, YouTube land, but y'all know who I am sometimes.
It's okay.
Back to you.
It's okay, Nelson. But sometimes you have fathers, because of the large percentage of fatherlessness, girl or boy, a lot of fathers don't know, because what they were so used to. We'll go back to, let's say, the war. Remember back in the times of war,
World War, okay,
mothers were home and the fathers were out there. Then after that time, we had the steel place. Was that what's the name of that?
Bethlehem Steel.
Bethlehem Steel.
That's in Baltimore, Maryland. For y'all who don't know.
fathers were home, were at work, and mothers were home. So the whole idea was revolved in that time. You want something, you go to mama. Mama handles everything. But you had a large percentage that were not talked about. The fathers worked all day long and came home, and their babies fell asleep on them because they read newspapers, read the funnies, or they played little games.
Yeah.
They don't talk about those times.
Yeah.
I'm from that era. I didn't have the father, but I had uncles.
You from that era?
I'm from
you
that
just
era.
don't look at my guess. She just don't look at that. Look at her.
Era where my uncles, they played
Okay.
games with the children. We didn't have all of that TV.
Okay.
We had TV, but we didn't have all those. We call them the gadgets, them dish.
No Wii and Nokia and all that stuff. All that stuff.
And we were bright children in school because of the interaction, because of the beginning stamp of communication with all children, not just the daughters. I know this is just a segment about daughters.
Correct.
But it's really essential, whatever the sex of the child, that fathers be really, really committed in being close to their daughters, close to their children.
Right.
Because if you don't, it's a whole lot of areas a lot of people can draw on to your children, and especially our young girls. If daddy won't listen to me, okay, Billy Bob down the street, Joe Blow down the street, baby, come talk to me.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then even one, then they'd be abusive with it, but she doesn't know the right way because it wasn't shown to her.
By that man called father.
Yeah, that man called father.
Woo!
You have a whole lot of fathers that are in the home but not part of the children's lives. And those are the ones we're really, really trying to reach right now, because of the large percentage of our girls, we're losing them to negative things. Please be a part of your children's lives.
Don't be scared.
Because on the other side of things, when you're not in the boys' lives, they grow up to be womanized. And they won't treat the females like princesses from the beginning.
From the beginning, princesses.
They won't treat them like that. So because they don't know it and they see it in the household, they grow up bashing, becoming violent to women.
Right.
And then they got a record. You know? So it's really, really essential on both sides. We don't want them involved. We love our children. We love each and every, whether they got issues or not.
Well,
we all got children or that little thing. But it's nothing more sound or greater that will solve and heal everything but love. And start off, the first form of love is communicating. Inside that belly, you talk to that daughter or that son and let them hear your voice.
Now suppose you have multiple births, then it's them.
I'm talking to all of them.
Okay. I just had to put it out there, YouTube land.
You know from you know firsthand.
You guests, I mean, these guests have been wonderful on the show. We're going to talk about something that is just as alarming to me personally and to a lot of fathers around the world. And that is that teenager exposed to drugs, crime, alcohol, pregnancy, amongst other things, get STDs, and a whole lot of other things. I want to focus on statistics. A lot of you do statistics out there on fatherless children all the time, but you seem to don't highlight the good. There are some good statistics out there as far as fathers. One statistic that I really love is that when father is in that life of that girl, academically, she shoots up. Her self-esteem shoots up. Her confidence shoots up. She got daddy there. Okay? That could be a future doctor, engineer, actor, actress, the president of the United States. You never know. You know what I mean?
Limits.
There's no limits. that daughter can sing that song, "My daddy loves me." Oh yeah, my daddy loves me. You know, they can sing that song. Statistics about the daughters, when their father is present, less likely to go out there and do certain things. Less likely to go out there and start smelling boys. Yes, I say smelling boys. They're not young men. They're boys. Okay? Not just that. They'll be less likely to go out there and hang in gangs. They'll be less likely to go out there and dress with just about nothing on.
Pants hanging
And
out.
y'all know what I'm talking about. A 12-year-old girl, a 10-year-old girl should not be dressing like she's 21 years old. I have often said this. You can look at a group of girls, about 20 girls, between the ages of 12 and 15 years old. Most times you can tell by the way they dress and by the way they talk who has the father actively in their life.
Wait. Sometimes you have those females who have the father in their life, but still crave more attention. Sometimes they
greedy.
Yeah, they're greedy. Sometimes you have those females who have, but sometimes you have those females who have the father in life who are, I'm not going to say too strict, but are always on their butt. So I'm not going to say it's a limit of being strict, because I think that everybody should be disciplined no matter what, because that disciplinary, that will work.
The children should learn to love discipline.
Right. Love discipline. Trust me, it will help you out in the future. So say you have an adult discipline a child. Okay, it depends. I'm not going to say it's a limit to discipline, but sometimes it is, because some other children, they go out thinking to the world, thinking that, oh, well, my parents tell me I can't do this and I can't do that, and they're always too strict. It's a reason they're being strict, to protect you. And even if you don't think it's protecting you, it is protecting you. So when they dress one way before when they leave the house, and then when they leave the house, they dress another way. Sometimes you have to watch your children.
But that brings into place the word structure. Because fathers from the beginning institute discipline, foundation, discipline, structure in their lives. All of this is developed in the very beginning stages. That way they began to love discipline and understand discipline. If it was not put down and stamped in the beginning, then you're going to have flip-flop attitudes. You're going to have the rebellion. And then you're just safe to say that they will feel like, well, he don't have no right to say nothing to me. You know. But fathers, again, it's important. Whatever a child it is, male or female, from the beginning or whenever you have an opportunity to communicate with your children, do so, because it's important. It can eliminate a lot of unnecessary changes and channels that you will go through in their lives. It's rewarding to have that communication with your children, because you can have an occasion where when your children leave and you'll think things didn't fall. It could be that hard-headed child. They call you back in the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning. No, you gotta get up and go to work. They call, Ma, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being there for me. I really, really, really am so grateful. I've had that to happen, so that's why I was being emotional. I've had my child call me and say thank you. That they knew it was love. I didn't understand it back then, but thank you. And that's rewarding, because you know, not for me, but for a male, but it was rewarding for me as a mom to hear that come from my child.
Right. And that was something that we just like to hear. Like I said, this has been a very, very special edition segment of International Fathers. I'll say it again. The first time I've ever had 2 guests together at the same time. A lot of information. Men, A Loving Caring Parents too. This book, as well as my others, can be ordered at Barnes & Nobles, Borders, Amazon, Author House, also on eBay. It's available in Nook and on Kindle. Men Are Loving Caring Parents too. For more information about me, my books, my work, and my cards, you can log into my website at www.internationalfathers.org. I'm on Facebook, Mingle City, and others. You can view a whole bunch of information. Fathers, everywhere. Y'all know how I am. We get ready to end this segment of this show right here. I'm going to see if my two guests can pick up what we get ready to do next. Fathers, call those children.
Call them.
And children, call those fathers.
Yes.
And fathers, hug those children.
Yes.
And children, hug those fathers. Until next time.